Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome to another episode of Blogs with Boilon Friday. Today we have a lot of information to cover. I have no idea how long this video is going to take, but hopefully you'll all stick around for the ride. But we'll start things off with confirmed reworks for the upcoming patch with the new team out of time. I didn't name it. You know, this is envoy information that have been going across all the YouTube channels and whatnot. So the confirmed reworks for this out of time team, not including the new characters, is going to be Captain America and Captain Carter. So two of your rebirth characters that you, well, if you're a veteran player anyways, that you would have already had leveled up because of the Bio Raid team, which is now obviously being defunct a little bit as a result of Hive Mind, which is soon to be finishing up as well. We got some information regarding Red Goblin, confirmation of the new characters of Black Knight and Cosmic Ghost Rider. The fifth character, or the one that was in the middle of the silhouette, as far as I'm aware, is unconfirmed yet. Maybe that'll be another Envoy embargo release, NDA kind of thing that'll be out like next week, because I fully expect the patch to be sometime next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever they're doing now with the patch date. So a lot of information. We're going to be covering the blog as well. Give my thoughts to all that. We're also going to do a quick update regarding the current Void Knight event. Make sure that you get your Blitz on because there's so many orbs up for grabs over the next 2 days. We'll talk about that too. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. So we're just going to cover really quickly before we get to the blog, the Void Knight updates. And so this basically, if you guys remember my first video, honestly, it's pretty damn close to what I had estimated in that video. Let's talk about the ISO 8 spending stuff, which we already did though. But in terms of how many orb fragments we got out of that, wasn't really a lot, right? It was just those 6 nodes that we were farming every single for 2 days, and it resulted in like almost 3.5 orbs if you did all of those nodes. But the blitzing right now that we're doing is going to be worth a shit ton if I can get my my table right. So if you do 16 rotations, aka 8 rotations a day, in fact, if you were smart, you could have actually got a few rotations in before the reset between 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. 4 or 5 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific, sorry. And you can get 3 additional rotations in. But for the purposes of this, we're just talking about 16 rotations, which is 2 days worth. If you did 50 blitz wins, that's 800 blitz wins. I am putting the orb fragment average as 50 for this. You're getting drops such as 25, 40, 55, 75, 90, 95, I think, or 90 something, 350. There's some really 190 and then 2000. There's some weird numbers. And so I have put 50 as the benchmark because the common drop is 40 and there's lots of other drops above that. So that's a total of 20 extra orbs over the next 2 days that you can farm for this milestone. And also that's like 20 times 3, which is the average drop rate of the shard, which is the estimated value. So that's like an extra 60 shards on Void Knight just from the Blitz portion, which is insane. Now this is going to add to the milestone as well. And so you can probably get to the 200k milestone mark for this event, which is very important. Like some of these higher milestones, pretty important. Like milestone 16, for example, which is the Mega Gold Orb and more augmented alien spores and like shit tons of teal biogear. So if you need biogear, this is what you're going to want to do, right? 1,000 of these, 600, 800, lots of the teal origin gear for all the Hive Mind characters right now. Also, this milestone 18, I think with reasonable orb fragment luck, if you're doing 16 rotations or more for your blitzing portion, you'll get this. If you've been doing everything to the T for this event, you will get milestone 18, which is 25 extra Void Knight shards and 30 alien spores, which is pretty crazy. It is confirmed, though, that Red Goblin is not alien spores. He is confirmed to be Hammer Tech. So other characters that have Hammer Tech lately, Vulture, Spider Slayer, and previously Gwenpool. So you might want to check your inventory with regards to how many of those that you have. And then obviously we don't really know the details fully of the other characters. There is the kit to Red Goblin, which is released. Unless it's in the blog, I'm not really going to cover it here in this video, but we'll see. Basically his charge mechanic, if you were following my videos, is a revive function. His passive is quite extensive. The character, the team looks like it might be good on offense, because I think there's a lot of part of Hive Mind where you need to really choose the targets, things like that, who to ability block, who to spread with, and that kind of thing. So it's not going to be a defensive team in Crucible in War, or at least it's not going to be very good if you use them there. So consider them to be an offense team going forward. But we'll talk about that more, of course, over maybe the weekend and the next few days. Let's pivot to the blog. So a night out of time. That's going to be the for with regards to Black Knight. And actually, very quickly, it may not be in here, so I'm going to raise it really quickly here. This is the chart for the event, which is probably what's going to be in the blog as well. So the Seeing Red, that basically confirms that Red Goblin is the February month-long character. This wasn't the data mines, but what's interesting is late last night, I actually checked it, and some of the items were missing from the data mine, so I didn't know if they pulled it or not. Anyways, there's going to be some upcoming events. Roses are red. As far as characters, you can see down here at Red Letter Day, February 26th, which has the picture of Black Knight, right? Like, I think that was the one we knew 100%, just because, like, when you Google Black Knight, you get that little, the eagle piece or whatever on the top of the helmet, and, like, that was his old school model, I guess you could say, or his costume, I guess, back then. As far as the other two characters, they're going to be like into March, like well into March, probably the second week of March and beyond. So don't expect this team to be finished anytime soon. Also, if I didn't say it already, this out of time team is going to be a war team. So I don't know if it's war defense or war offense, but regardless, it's a war alliance, war game mode team. It might have, war teams traditionally do usually have some additional value outside of war, just because of the way they're structured. Usually they're fairly decent, so we'll see. That's not always the case. You know, Nowhere was pretty garbage in Cosmic Crucible. New Avengers were mixed, I think. People are using them on defense for Cosmic Crucible, but I wouldn't say they hit it out of the park by any means, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So you can see some of the events here. It'll probably be listed in the blog, but we'll take a look. So Red Goblin on the cover there. Raid Season Reward Update, so we knew about that. That was in the previous blog. Strike Pass Season 52 featuring Sunspot, a Union Jack Blitz for whatever reason. Gear Explosion, so that's one of those flash temporary farming events that you have for 24 hours. That could be actually really good if you're using that to farm Teal Origin gear as well. An Alliance event called Tribunal Tech, which is related to Cosmic Crucible. I honestly hate the fact that these events are also regarding events that aren't actually Alliance-based. Cosmic Crucible is a solo game mode, and they make us do things for Alliance. But hey, it is what it is. Into the Gwenumverse, which is the Gwenum event, which is going to be, it's arena-based, so that's going to be starting on Monday. I will be putting out a video for that on Sunday, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and make sure you're keeping that notification bell on to notify yourself when my events videos go live, and every other video, of course, web milestone associated with that. So we have basically an arena function, a campaign energy function, and a war battle function for the Gwenum event. Miss Marvel costume going to the store, I guess. New Incursion campaign chapters. That's a new one. I didn't know that. On February the 8th. And so that's going to be in 6 days, which is going to be next Thursday. So that one will be interesting a little bit. We'll see. It's probably down below as well. Keep an eye out for inbox messages related to Red Goblin. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. We're not going to look about the lore. He is a protector on the team, which is interesting. So his traits, Villain, City, Bioprotector, Spider-Verse Symbiote, speed of 107. And this is the biggest concern, I think, with regards to him outside of raids. Within raids, you know, Void Knight gives the Hive Mind speed up and things on spawn. And so it's not going to be a big deal there. But outside of raids, they do not get that. And so that's where the concern is. It's a very lengthy kit. I'm not going to go through it in its entirety. However, he does have raid trauma. That's good. He does have a healing function. He does also basically take negative effects from other allies, gives it to himself, and then chucks it back. And then he does a huge AoE at a cooldown of 4, which is pretty big based on how many negative effects are actually on the enemy. So that part is really, really nice. Fortunately, it's only slow to the primary target, but potential for very big damage, despite him being a protector character. A lot of us thought he was going to be a blaster character, but he's not. And also, when we took a look at that not the Strike Knight video, the Void Knight trailer video, it showed Venom with a taunt, and that's because of the passive. So he does apply taunt for 2 turns to the highest health Hive Mind ally. That is typically going to be Venom now, but it will actually probably be Void Knight later on once he becomes farmable, because Void Knight has the 2nd or 3rd highest HP in the game. So that's not going to be Venom later on. It's just as he becomes farmable, it'll be Venom to start, and then when you get 7-star Void Knight, it's going to be Void Knight later on. He does give defense up and deflect for 2 turns on Hive Mind allies on spawn as well. And the charged function is related to a revive thing that he's got. So if charged, revive 1 dead symbiote ally with 60% max health, then lose a charge. So he can revive 1 dead character, symbiote actually, not even just Hive Mind, per node, I guess you could say. So hopefully you don't lose any more than one character and you don't lose Red Goblin. Otherwise, you might be in trouble. Anyways, there is also filling Red Goblin's speed bar by 25% if anyone else dies. He has the damage passive. He also has a block amount passive, which is related to the deflex, right? So it'll just absorb a little bit more damage than it normally would. Okay, so that's Red Goblin. Like I said, if you want the full details, if you want to read that there, check it out. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. Red Goblin's Orb and Pact of Wrath. Okay, so that's the offer for Red Goblin coming on February the 8th, which is going to be in 6 days, also on Thursday. So I'm assuming that the patch, there's going to be a minor patch where it's going to like all the characters are going to populate in the roster screen, and that's what we're going to see next week. So keep an eye on that. And then finishing this Nova Wrath costume, which nobody cares about because it's like a pay-to-win nonsense. So we're going to skip ahead. And there's Cosmic Crucible Season 6. All right, Season 6 and 7. Oh, sorry, will be shorter than the previous seasons. Officially starts on February the 9th for Season 6, which is going to be next Friday, or it's going to take effect the following Monday, right? So it's going to be like a week and a half from now. And you'll have until February the 12th to set your defenses. Okay, so what is 6-week seasons? That's great. No, 7-week seasons. Yeah, it's about 6-week seasons. So that's pretty great. Looking forward to that. So if you're looking to higher league, blah, 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 blah. Heroes, reason, rules season 6. Defense and, wait, symbiotic 6. Okay. All right. Okay. Symbiote characters count as superior 6 and sinister 6. Ooh, boy. And that's global. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I have a whole swath of superior 6 characters. I guess that, well, that's going to be insane for Void Knight. Because he gets like, you know, speed bar on spawn, dragging them together to like debilitate for the rest of the Sinister 6. Oh my god. And you might be able to use extra members as well that you might have leveled, so you'll have like probably no problems with a group of 10. Whoa, my god. On successful attack, bury yourself for 15% of max health. This is also, I'm assuming, applying to the symbiotes because they're also superior 6, right? When successfully, so they're keeping that revive once thing that they had this season. All right, okay. So no Dormammu X-Men because it's not going to matter if they're keeping this stuff. On defense, 20% max health and 10% damage. That looks about the same. After each completed attempt, and when, oh yeah, exhaust. Yeah, right, okay. So stage 1, room 1, invulnerable. Defense and offense, Raider and Skirmisher characters gain 200% extra damage under 50% health. Okay, I mean, I'm kind of glad they're getting rid of the room 1 now. I'm really tired of the current Crucible room 1. Mystic Healthcare. Mystic characters gain 20% drain per negative effect on themselves, I would assume is what they're talking about, or on the enemy. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. When it rains, that's a name of a trait from the Scourges. When a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positives by +1 up to max of 3. Oh, dear lord. So safeguard stuff is going to be an insane duration, and negative effects minus or +1 as well. So trauma, things like that. Wow, that's going to be really powerful for things like Safeguard or anyone who applies Safeguard. Namely, I'm thinking Extreme X-Men and them extending that kind of nonsense, but hey, we'll see. Spiritual Energy room number 4, defense, offense, all characters, anytime a character gains energy from an active ability, gain +1. So anyone who generates ability energy, you're going to give more when they do that. I'm not really thinking too hard off the top of my head, so I don't know who. We're going to have to really like kind of pin this down later on. When an enemy character dies, all ally characters, gain 1 ability energy. So when they're killed, with more killing is good. Ultimate abilities cost 3 more. That part's interesting though, because then you're not going to have that available on turn 1. That's this room. Stage 4 is something that we're going to have to theorycraft more about. Stage 5, robotic double. Tech characters. Whenever a tech character uses an ability energy, revive an ally. Okay, so just a tech room. You know, Pegasus, maybe, just off the top of my head. There is actually Sinister 6 has a shit ton of tech characters as well, so you might get some use out of that there. That could be really insane for like a mixed symbiote Sinister 6 defense team here in room number 5. Health Insurance 6, defense, offense, on turn characters remove all positive effects from self. Okay, this is kind of like what they have that trial pack right now in Green Goblin Classic. I think that's pretty much what it is. I don't really like this actually. This is probably where I'm going to shove characters that I don't really say possibly Infinity Watch actually, because I'm pretty sure if you have safeguard, it doesn't actually remove the positive effects because you can't do that as a function of that. So I may put Infinity Watch in this room just off the top of my head. Free claim Friday, of course. There's this stuff here. I already claimed it, so I can't really show you. Extra orb fragments for the Void Knight event. Okay, now finally the events. We're gonna look at the chart really quickly for this one. This is the Gwenom event, and we're gonna switch over to this one so we can see a little bit better. My head's in the way for the top corner, but there is some Gwenom shards. So how many Gwenom shards are up for grabs? So 5, 10, 20, 35, 55 that we might get. There's the event item there, the neutralizer. I don't know how far down we will go because we don't normally go down this far. So that'll be what we'll talk about in Sunday's video with regards to the Gwenom event. You get points through war battles that are capped at basically 2 wars down here, and then Ghost Host Orb Fragments, which we'll get from the arena rank payout, plus the web milestone. So that's how you're going to get points there. So far, there's Void Knight shards in there, but honestly, I don't think that's going to be free to play accessible. That's just me, though. So that one's... Oh, not that one. That's not going to take too long anyway. So let's jump back. What else do we got? Web milestone. Not gonna pull that up right now. Tribunal Tech. I'll probably cover that on Sunday morning's event video as well. And then we have the quick rumble for Heroes for Hire. Raid season reward update. We already talked about this. Incursion campaign chapters 7 and 8. February the 8th. Okay, who's in it? Mutant or tech characters at 6 red, and 8 is mutant at 7 red. For chapter 8. Who's in it? Rewards include 7 red stars for Pegasus characters, along with 7 red stars for select new Avengers characters, Secret Defenders, and Superior 6. Wow. Okay, so is there going to be any farmable characters in there, though? They didn't say that, so maybe not yet, but they might add that onto the node later on, because they did that in the past with characters like Vol and Zombie Iron Man. So they may leverage that in the future. Oh, lots to talk about. Okay, so that is everything. But of course, as usual, things are subject to change. Just want to point that out. Keep an eye out on this channel for the event video for Gwenom, which will be coming out on a Sunday. And we probably will have time to talk about Crucible tomorrow as far as the implications of the room when I have more time to digest that. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next video. Boilon, signing out.